We will be doomed.
I'm Dana J. Smithers, and I am one of the Emotion Code Divas. And I typically, as a certified Emotion Code practitioner, work with women that are maybe going through, well, a roller coaster of emotions, right? I actually do work with women that are having challenges in their sexual relationship, in their relationship with their kids. Maybe they're having still feel a lot of trauma from when they were young, so I do inner child work. I also work a lot with chakras, and I predominantly do work with women. I relate to women. I understand what they're going through. At this stage in my life, I find that there's very few life experiences that I can't relate to, and if I can't, then we just let the emotion code do its work for that. I'm also a certified law of attraction trainer, so today I'm going to be talking about 5 reasons to exercise from a law of attraction perspective. So that's a little bit about me. So let's move on to the other emotion code diva.
That's me. I'm Helena Jehnichen. I'm a certified clinical hypnotherapist and a certified emotion code practitioner. In my practice, I see men and women, and I help them to become smoke-free in one hypnosis session. That's right, smoke-free in one hypnosis session. You can find me at thestopsmokinglady.com. I also help people release excess weight, medical anxiety. People have medical anxiety. Maybe they have a fear, phobia going to the dentist or the doctor or have a surgery, or just general anxiety. And I use hypnosis and the emotion code with all of my sessions.
Exactly. So the reason that Helene and I started this show is that we love the emotion code. We both, I was introduced it by somebody else, and I introduced it to Helena, who is already a hypnotherapist and has many, many tools in her toolkit. And I actually was Helena's business coach for about a year, still do a little bit of advising, but got her really on track with this business that she loves. And she loved it so much, she became a certified emotion code practitioner. So the purpose of this show is to educate, which I'll be doing the educational piece today, inspire. We hope something about us inspires you, or maybe even from one of our viewers, something is inspirational. And then we heal and release trapped energy, trapped emotions from one of the viewers. So we have a viewer lined up today who Helena is going to be working on releasing the resistance to exercise, right?
Mm-hmm.
Little law of attraction tip: the more you resist, the more it persists. All right. So what we like to do, just in case you are a first-time watcher, make a comment, share our live stream or even recording, and we're going to go through the 7 keys to doing an emotion code session. And Helena and I are both, and all certified emotion code practitioners are trained by Dr. Bradley Nelson. This is a book that is part of the training that we do, but you can buy this, you can buy it online. Everything that we're going to talk about, case studies he's done in here, a lot of the muscle testing techniques he talks about, the chart is in here as well. So yeah, if you're not familiar with it, check it out online. It's Dr. Bradley Nelson. So Helena, let's just jump right into these 7 keys and see what comes up here.
Good. So, Dana, the first one is permission. What's permission all about?
Okay, well, if you watched the last show, I happened to mention that I met a dog named Chester on the street the other day, and Chester only barks at other dogs, and he's a small schnauzer. So big dog comes by, bark, 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 right? So I talked to the woman owner, and I'm just waiting to hear back from her if she'd like me to go ahead, because she's got to get, well, permission from her husband as well, not from the dog in this case. But I heard Chester outside yesterday, outside the condo, and he was with the male owner. And I just thought, oh, I just love to do some run down and do some emotion code on that dog. But you know what? They haven't given me permission yet, and I have a real passion for dogs. So whenever I go to the dog beach a lot, which some of you may have seen all the videos that I do in my personal page about that. But, I'll see a dog that's growling at another dog, or, they're in the dog-free play zone, and one of them is just like, isn't trained well enough, socialized to be with other dogs. So, immediately I just want to start,
doing your work.
doing it. But, I can't do it without their permission. So that's permission. We have to ask permission. And if we're working with a child under age or an animal, then we have to ask permission from the parent or the owners. Yes.
Yes.
And what's the next one, Helena?
The next one is proxy. Dana, what's proxy about?
Well, proxy is, in fact, I just did it this week. We had a annual general meeting, and I couldn't attend in person. So I just basically I gave them permission to record my vote because I voted on certain things. I couldn't be there, so someone else did it for me. So someone else read my vote. So we simply will become a person's proxy, in that we will ask their permission to do the work on them, and then we will tap into their subconscious, and we will become their proxy, unless they're in person. So I know, Helena, you have your setup. You have your I have a home office and do most of mine on phone or the computer, but you have an office, so that's a bit different for you.
Mm-hmm. When I'm in the office, I still ask the person for permission and their proxy to ask their subconscious mind directly. It's a very efficient way to ask the questions, is for us to do the work instead of the other key that we're going to talk about in a second. Dana.
All right.
All right. The next key is severity. And on the severity, we ask for our clients to rate their issue a 1 through 10. 10 being severe. And what we're looking to do is to lower that number and even maybe bring it down to a 0.
Right. So when we ask them severity of the stress, for example, we asked Linda, who Helena's going to work on today, how much stress was involved with her not exercising and her health and all of that. And she said 10. So Helena will check as well. We'll check the subconscious, because sometimes we can think something, but it may not actually be the case. So Helena will check it. The goal is to get it down in those lower numbers, 3, 2, 1, or 0. And definitely once the processing is done, we hope that it's not just about the number, but do you feel better? Mm-hmm. Right? That's the goal of it. And I know I had a lady the other day, I was working with one of my clients in New York, and she got a little bit of a migraine the next day. So she emailed me, and so I just do a little bit of a white light meditation for her, and I suggest that as well. And I said it's natural. We did a lot of heavy work with her with inner child. She was someone that had very, very traumatic things in her life. So, just releasing all that. But then the next day, she said, I feel great. So, there is a process to it, and there is processing to be done after, right? That's and right. So what do we actually do with it? I'm going to show the card this time,
okay.
Helena. You could talk about it. So this is muscle
testing. That's right. Muscle testing is the technique that we use to communicate with the subconscious mind, and we're able to ask yes or no questions. And what I have an agreement with is that when I link my fingers together like this, and I think of the word yes, 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 my fingers link together, they get stuck together. When I think the word no, 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 they just pull apart. So when working with a client, and the first question will be, is the severity a 10? And then it will be either a yes or a no, and then we can find out from there. Right. Dana, how do you do muscle testing?
Again, just go to Dr. Brad's book. He's got a lot of different examples of techniques there. So I do this. I put my index finger and my thumb together, take my 2 fingers from my other hand, index and middle finger, and I could do the same thing. Is it 10, 9, 8? Okay, it's an 8. And then I'll work from there. And we can only get yes or no answers. And we're not adding any pressure. Like it's not, this. It's just this or that, right? So, and also if you do a lot of sessions, some days I do quite a few sessions in a row, and my arms would be so tired. if I was putting a lot of pressure, but just lightly. Yes?
Yeah.
Whoops, that was a no. Yes? Nope, that's a no. Yeah, so very lightly. Okay, great. All right, and I'm going to show you the next card. We've got our muscle testing. And why are we doing muscle testing?
Well, we're looking for some trapped emotions. We're looking to release negative trapped emotions that have been trapped in the physical system of the body.
Okay.
And what we're doing is we'll be asking yes or no. Is there a trapped emotion that we can release today regarding the issue that we're working on? Is it in column A or is it in column B? Is it an odd row or an even row? And what we'll do is we'll come to a set of 5 words, and then we'll ask individually those words if it's this particular emotion, and then we will release them.
Exactly. And so I'm just showing a little lemon right now. What the heck's a lemon? Why do we have a lemon on? Why do we have a lemon on the show?
But I have
besides that, yeah.
I have a lemon too. A lemon, it represents is a good representation of the size that an emotion can actually be, because it's an energy. It's an energy that's been trapped in the body that's causing maybe an ache, a pain, chronic pain that has not gone away for such a long time, unexplained chronic pain that nobody knows what it is. Or maybe it's this lemon, this energy, this trapped negative emotion that's causing procrastination for exercise. Or maybe it's your food cravings, portion sizes. It's really quite amazing. But sometimes it can be even energetic larger, like a cantaloupe. Maybe for the next show I'll find a cantaloupe. Bring that.
Actually, we could probably find some. I tried to get some in the that are like this, right? That aren't real fruit. But anyway, we'll think about that. Yeah, but it's the size of that. So that's what gets trapped in there. So I just want to give a shout out to a few of our followers, or some of our loyal followers. Natasha, Paula, Samuel, thank you. All right. And Chris Kutnia is talking to us, saying hello. Kelly Carson. Chris says, ironically, see, I don't think that's ironically. I think this is law of attraction. I just got back home from a 4-mile walk outside in hot, sticky Michigan. So, ooh la la, congratulations.
That's
Love
right.
it. All right.
That's right.
Okay.
Actually, I just want to say a shout out to my sister.
Oh.
She's watching, Tina. Yeah, Tina, if you're still there, why don't you put a little comment, say hello, and tell me where you are right now, because I know that you were in lovely Hawaii just last week, I think it was. Are you still there?
Oh, nice. Excellent.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. So we looked at our emotion code chart. We determined A, B, row A or B, even or odd, and then we look at the 5 that are in that group. And so the way that we release them is with what, Helena? How do we demagnetize? Exactly.
Magnets.
Yeah. So we're going to use magnets. And what we do with the magnet is
this funny movement.
Exactly. So what we're doing is we have meridians in our body. We have all sorts of chakras and points within our body. Acupuncture works with all the meridians as well in our body. But what we're doing is we're working with what's called the governing meridian. So we're going to take our magnets from just the top of our lip over our head and just we're sitting. So we do it to the base of our neck there, just where the spine starts. But if we're in person with someone, then we will run this magnet down their body, down their whole spine. So we'll do 3 swipes, and what we're doing is demagnetizing. Let's say it was the emotion of failure that came up. So we want to remove it. We're the proxy. We've got their permission. So we're going to go ahead and do 3 swipes and demagnetizing it. And then we always go back to muscle testing and ask the question, did we release that? And obviously, does it belong to this person? If I get a no, then we ask the question, because you can inherit. Think about that. You can inherit trapped emotions from your parents, grandparents, all along the lineage until those are removed. So it's a little bit different process when it is inherited, but we can still do that and work with that.
The inherited emotions, I just love finding and removing, because people might have this a particular feeling and they don't even know where it's come from.
Yeah.
It's
Or
been just passed down through the genes, through the lineage at the time of conception. It's quite remarkable when it gets released.
it is. And if it's inherited from a mother and father and that person is still around, then what's beautiful about that is we can remove it from that person as well. But again, it's something that's inherited at birth, at the time of conception. Yeah, so that's great. And the last thing, Helena, what's important?
It's very important to have a hydrated practitioner.
And person that we're working with. And since we're talking about nutrition and exercise, drink all day long, ladies. Water, that is.
Yeah, water.
All right.
Did you know, interesting fact, every time you have some alcohol, you won't release weight that particular day. What? Yeah, it's true.
What?
It's true. Yeah, I heard that from a nutritionist, from someone reputable. Don't ask me who, but makes sense, right? It's like alcohol has quite an effect on the physical system, and yeah, it's sugar, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And we know that sugar turns into fat, so yeah. Okay, so I'm going to start the educational piece. And Helene, I don't know if Linda is watching or not. I told her if she couldn't make it, we would still, we have enough information that we just go ahead. And she has real resistance to exercising, and yet all of us know that exercising is so important. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask some of our viewers if they wouldn't mind just doing some hashtags for me as I go through the 5 reasons to exercise from a law of attraction perspective. So 5 reasons to exercise. Number 1, exercise boosts your happiness levels. So maybe we can hashtag that. Somebody could hashtag that for us. Boost happiness levels. So what does that mean? Well, whether you're fully conscious of it or not, we're always looking for ways to be happy, right? Life is meant to be joyful. We're meant to be happy beings. And exercise is one of the most obvious steps to take, as it's not a coincidence that you feel better after you exercise. It's actually science. There is scientific proof. And while I was doing a little bit of research for this show, I found this Penn State University found that people who exercise, whether it was a mild, moderate, or vigorous, had more pleasant feelings than those people that don't exercise. So I know I've read a lot of articles. You've probably seen the posts that if you don't do it X number of minutes, and if you don't do it this hard, or if you do it hard the first 3 minutes and slow down, it's going to work. I mean, I've read all of that stuff, but the main point from a law of attraction perspective is this. It's how you feel about what you say or think you're doing. Like Helena and I were just talking this morning. Okay, my exercise routine has changed over the years. I used to be someone, I was never a super athlete, but in high school I played field hockey. I played volleyball. I wasn't very good in the gymnastics, but then when I got older, I started playing tennis. I did a little bit of running. Let's say going into my 40s, I was major on the aerobic scene. Did a lot of step classes, did some yoga, and then I got introduced to something called NIA. And I've done NIA for probably 15 years now. If you haven't heard of it, it's NIA. I forget what it stands for, but you can look it up. So I've done NIA, but I've always consistently done yoga since I was about in my 30s. To this day, yoga is my preferred exercise, because when we exercise, it releases chemicals called endorphins. And those endorphins interact with the receptors in our brain, and that reduces our perception of pain, for one thing. So if you are in a lot of pain, then you want to find a mild exercise. It might be a few yoga stretches, It might be just a walk that you go and do. But these endorphins actually trigger a positive feeling. And in the law of attraction, there's only two vibes. You're either going to have a positive vibe from what you're doing, or you're going to have a negative vibe. And this negative vibe can happen by you beating yourself up for not exercising. Oh, look it, it's not really working. But remember, we have to go back to, it's always how you feel about what you say or think. So as I was saying earlier, that I just did a short yoga routine today, about 15 minutes. I used to go to the gym and do all of that, but over the last few years, our condo is set up that I have a nice place to do my yoga. I have about 10 videos that I watch. I switch them up every day, so I make sure that, I'm doing a lot of upper body or lower body or hip stretches or twists or whatever, because that feels good to me. So that's the main point. Do the exercise that feels good because it boosts your happiness level. So someone hashtag that. Hashtag number 2, set clear intentions and gain confidence, right? Because with law of attraction, everything is about your intention. So if you have set the intention to do some exercise, maybe you've got a plan, maybe you do it on a specific day and a specific time. For me, what works for me is if I don't do my yoga, or if I'm going to go do a walk, run, if it's nice weather outside, if I don't keep to that, I won't do it. I don't exercise later in the day. I don't exercise at night. And if you are going to exercise at night, Helena and I were talking about this, make sure it's not a super vigorous one, because then you're going to be all stimulated, right? All your body's going to go, yeah, when in fact, that's not what we want. So yoga or something like that, or just mild or a nice walk. So that's number 2. Hashtag number 3, another reason to exercise, it reduces the risk of heart disease. So I don't think it just reduces the risk of heart disease. I think it reduces the risk of a lot of other diseases. I think that if you're feeling good about yourself, remember that the law of attraction's job is to match your vibrations. So if you're feeling good, it's like, yeah, you know what? I've got 15 minutes. I'm going to do it. I do this every morning at the same time, or roughly the same time, and I feel good. And having those good feelings, remember, number 1, boosts happiness levels. So you're just going to feel better all around. So a variety of studies found that no statistically detectable differences existed between those people who exercised and those who were given medication in the prevention of heart disease or diabetes. So what they're saying is, get out of the medicine cabinet, get outside, and get some exercise. So, I'm not going to talk about medications because that's a whole other topic, but it's been known that it does reduce heart disease and diabetes as well. So that's hashtag number 3. Hashtag number 4, another reason, you sleep better. If you can't sleep and instead are prone to tossing and turning, exercise can help you sleep better by strengthening your circadian rhythms. And I know in another episode, Helena, you talked about that. It's in this series, in the May series on releasing weight. But we have a certain rhythm in our body. This is why for people that work on night shifts and hospitals and all of that, their circadian rhythm gets all out of balance. It's kind of like, you think of your chakras like they're just, whoa, all over the place. You don't have any rhythm to your body. That's why often you'll feel out of sorts, and that's where emotion code can help as well. But by strengthening these circadian rhythms, exercise can help you keep you more bright-eyed during the day and also bring on sleep at night. And it definitely promotes the quality of sleep. So, as I say, nothing too vigorous at night. And then again, I'm also a big meditation person, so that can also help. Yeah, we could do a whole other show on sleeping, but we'll just say hashtag number 4, fourth reason to exercise. Hashtag number 5. Helena, we should see who's watching our show right now before we go back to
Yeah.
hashtag number 5.
Yeah. I've got another friend, Andrea Doucette Hatfield. She's watching, and hi, Helena, how am I doing? I'm doing great. Nice to see you here. And Doreen Hill and Natasha, thanks for all the hashtags.
Thank you,
And
Natasha.
Chris is watching, and my sister's watching. Hey, Tina, learn how to comment. Say hi.
Great.
And I've
Okay.
got some more friends that are watching. This show, Dana, is so fun. I've
Yeah.
connected with so many people and shared this emotion code information with many people.
Yeah. And I love it. And yeah, I get inspired doing it. So this is all good. Okay. Hashtag number 5. I think we need a drum roll here. Whether you know it or not, when you're feeling exhausted, the last thing you might want to do is squeeze in a workout. But according to experts, that's exactly what you should do. They found that low intensity exercise, the equivalent of a leisurely stroll, experienced this people, and they did a lot of studies on this, experienced a drop in fatigue levels and a 20% energy boost. So even though you may feel, tired, depends on your workout. Like when I used to do step and, you,
The,
you just,
the
you're just
Jane
waiting.
Fonda aerobics
Yeah.
step days.
Yeah. Yeah. And Jane Fonda is a whole other story. I've always admired her throughout my life, and I used to get her tapes and do her workout and all of that. But in books that I've read about Jane, that she's written rather, her autobiographies, Jane was bulimic. And so a lot of that, thinness that you saw was she was not, while she was doing the exercising to get kind of a high from it, she also was starving her body, which is how she stayed thin for the movies and all of that. And, recently, like she's 80 now, but she's had every kind of facelift and body tuck and all of that. She talks about it openly. But, Helena and I are encouraging you to, be healthy with your body, because the whole point of doing this one in May about releasing weight, because it's something, our society, thin, 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 you got to be thin. It's like, hello, oh my goodness. I have seen so many thin people lately. I just think I don't, this is me. It does not make me feel good, right? And so the vibration I'm getting when I see that is not good. So I want to see people that love their body, because when you love your body, you've got confidence, you walk taller, you dress better. Oh, that's something else I wanted to say about um, when I sort of changed my routine from, heavy aerobics to more yoga and Nia, I bought myself some awesome diva outfits, right?
Dan, on that comment, years ago, I used to go to a gym, and when I first started out at the gym, it was a really nice gym, and it was close to my work. I went there after work, and they had shorts and T-shirts that you could just borrow. So if you didn't bring your own, you could just use them. And someone commented, they went, "I've noticed that your body is changing for the better because you're dressing differently." I started to buy
Yeah,
my own particular,
yeah,
leggings and tops and stuff that really fit me well for the function of working out, that made me feel better.
yeah,
It's amazing, and not expensive stuff. It just needs to
yeah,
fit
yeah,
well, make you
yeah.
feel good.
And you can go to the Lululemons or Nikes of the world or whatever thing you happen to like, and
Costco.
Costco, yeah, it's got great stuff, and even a lot of the local stores now. Yeah, you can even go into Winners, and find stuff. So it depends on your taste. If you like to have the Lululemon brand, then go for it, right? That's great. But all I'm saying is that I know that once I started feeling better, yes, I dress better, but I also got different clothes. Like even I noticed this year, like now that the weather's getting better, my clothes, the ones I've been wearing are kind of old, so I'm going to get some new stuff. I'm just going to feel better, feels good. And I think too, sometimes if you are going to a gym, you're kind of looking at what all the other ladies have on or whatever. And, it's up to you. If you feel good and better about buying something or having the right stuff, you feel better, you fit in, that's great. Me, I do most of my stuff alone, so I don't have to worry about fitting in with anybody. I just fit in with myself. I feel good. Yes. So hashtag number 5, Natasha, sorry, I didn't give you the actual wording there. It is hashtag number 5, gives you an energy boost. So exercise gives you an energy boost. Even if you feel exhausted, you are going to feel, either if you're doing something mild at night, you're going to have a more restful sleep. You'll probably start to take better care of your skin. You'll then maybe the hair shifts a bit, right? Because once we, that hashtag number 2 was set clear intentions to gain confidence, because that's what you do. Now, the other thing is, you know what? Even though okay, confession, true confession, I do not exercise. I do not do yoga every day. I probably do yoga 4 to 5 times in the week, but then if I'm not, I'm down at the dog beach going for a walk. And you know what? It feels great. I kind of set some goals. I've always got a lot of water with me as well, because water definitely helps you to, flush things through and get rid of that. And Helena, tell me again about that wine.
That wine? You mean the sugar?
Yeah.
You mean like alcohol is just sugar?
I mean, so as great as it tastes, because I just bought some a nice Beaujolais wine. So what's happening with me?
Every time you drink wine or alcohol, your body is not going to release weight, because you've just put sugar into the system, and you are now going to use that for energy instead of the stored inventory that we already have on the body. So yeah, alcohol.
Yeah.
I think if you were going to drink alcohol, it is, I believe it's tequila straight that you drink is your best option. Yeah.
With a lime or lemon?
Yeah, well, you can have a lime or a lemon.
Tequila. Well,
Yeah.
I do not do tequila anymore. But yeah, so check out, the grams of sugar. I was in another show, I think I mentioned that gin and tonic used to be my summer drink. I'm not a big drinker, but I do sometimes, of course. I do. I'm fine with that. But one day I was looking at the tonic, to me, which has no sugar in it, 25 grams of sugar. It's not even sweet, right? And I just looked at it and went, unbelievable, right? So so look at what the ingredients are, and sugar just turns to fat.
That's right. That's right. One of the things one of the recommendations I make for my hypnosis clients that are in for weight release is that turning everyday activities into exercise. So when I'm cleaning the bathtub or the shower or the bathroom floor or something, just do it a little bit more vigorously. And I'm like, all right, I'm getting my exercise in. And it's a shift in the mental attitude. When I go outside I have a yard now. I used to live in a condo. Walking up and down the back of the yard a couple of times. It's
that's a good one too. Yeah. And I've heard this one before, but if you're in a parking lot, park as far away as you can. Not if you're going to be carrying heavy things back, then get a buggy or something. But give yourself that little bit extra. Same if you're in, you have the option of taking some stairs, or let's say an elevator, if it's not too much, or even sometimes just an escalator. If you can take some stairs, then opt for those stairs. But remember, it's about how you feel. So, really set that intention and know why you're doing it. So I forgot to mention the card that I pulled today. I thought it was just great. I like to pull, this is from the Durant Virtues Angel cards. It says creative project. So I thought, okay, make exercise creative, right? Make it fun. Put the music on, Hey, I'm an old rock and roll fan, Bob Seger, any of that good stuff, Rolling Stones, it's got great rhythm to it. So, if somebody's watching, whatever, just ignore them. It says, your soul longs to express itself in creative ways. We're guiding you to infuse artistry and creativity into your life. creative expression makes you feel alive and excited and reignites passion towards life. So I thought, wow, that is absolutely perfect. So make it creative, make it fun. All right, so that's our learning component. Now let's find out what trapped emotions did Linda have. Hey, Kelly, happy you're watching, Kelly Carson.
Yep. So when I started, I checked, and actually, Linda's subconscious said it wasn't a 10, it was only a 9.
Okay.
And we got it down to a 0. So the first released trapped emotion regarding the resistance to exercise was shock. And after that, depression, hopelessness, confusion, disgust. And then I found some hidden trapped emotions, rejection around the age of 40, that once we released, we came to indecisiveness. And I'm not sure if you talked about the decision to exercise or making the decision.
The intention, yeah.
The intention, exactly. So what do you want? And once that happened, I asked a question, is there any psychic resonance, meaning that is there any underlying continuing kind of vibration throughout her? And it came up with taken for granted. And when I got to take it for granted and I released it, it was really interesting, Dana, for me, because I am tapped into Linda's subconscious mind.
Mm-hmm.
I just felt this shiver go through my body, and it just kind of wanted to release. And then it was, and I checked, and then we got down to a 0. So Linda, please let us know how you're doing with your desire and your intention to exercise.
Yeah. So thanks so much, Helena. And it is always about going back to your why, right? Like, why are you exercising? When you are going through challenging times in your life, and maybe, it's that roller coaster of emotions again, right? I mean, that's what goes on in life. I have found that when I'm going through things like that, and I definitely have been going through some challenges lately, that what's been the best thing for me is to keep up with some of my regular routines. So for me, that's meditation, maybe journaling, and definitely the exercising, even if I don't do it for a long time. So if I can't do my yoga, then I'll go out for a walk. Or if I'm in a place where I've got, some time to spare, then I will go for a walk. And it's okay if you go for a walk in a shopping mall or outside in the streets or wherever. It doesn't matter. I mean, nature is really nice because it refuels us, right? It gives us different nourishment than perhaps a shopping mall. But maybe just getting that little something that you like makes you feel good, or that new exercise outfit, or those new running shoes, and make sure you're buying ones that are really good. Don't cheap out on yourself. Remember, the universe is abundant, so you're going to be wearing this every day. You're going to be looking at it, set that intention, and just keep going with it as much as you feel that you can do. So Linda, we would love to hear how this goes for you, and I will PM Linda later as well. So just look at a comment from Chris. She said the angel card that I pulled could have been for her, as I'm actually going through that right now. So awesome, right? I always feel that everything we do has an energy to it, right? So Helena and I, we have certain energy when we're on the show. We love doing it. We both look forward to it. So we believe, and we know from a law of attraction perspective, that anybody that's watching is also going to be on a similar vibe, or maybe they're not quite there yet. Maybe you don't quite understand how this law of attraction works. That's okay. You've now put us in your vibrational bubble. So we're going to be part of your consciousness and how you think about things. And so we invite you to go back to all these recordings. Helena's going to let you know where you can reach her, and also her YouTube channel has a lot of recordings on as well. So Helena, why don't you just let viewers know that, and I'll let them know about next month's show.
Sure. So you can find out more about me and the emotion code at flourishhypnosis.com/emotion-code. I have a Facebook business page, Flourish Hypnosis, as well as a YouTube channel.
Right. Under Flourish Hypnosis.
Yes.
Excellent. Great. All right. And you can find me at empoweredwomeninbusiness.com/emotion-code. My YouTube channel is, I have lots of law of attraction on it. There's lots of, we have a playlist. Helena and I have done some shows on emotion code. And then I have the emotion code Divas show is a playlist as well. So all of the videos are on there, and please share. We're just growing this business right now. So share it with like-minded people, or maybe people that you would like to be more like-minded. You can try that out too. So next month's show, so each month we have a theme. So next month we are going to be talking about fears and phobias. And emotion code is super good for releasing those and getting rid of those. So we're going to be talking about next week, if you have a fear of a certain type of animal, it might be some of the, it might be the reptilian stuff, or it might be dogs or cats, birds, could be anything. So let us know, because we're always looking for someone new to do an emotion code session with. And then we're going to talk about, maybe you have the fear of driving, or maybe you have a little bit of road rage or something. Helena's going to be talking about medical anxiety. She works a lot with dentists and doctors. And then we're going to talk about fears and phobias about public speaking.
That's right.
Yeah, all right. So until then, please share. Thanks everybody for watching. We really do appreciate it. And have yourselves an awesome week. And stay tuned. Once in a while we do an impromptu Facebook Live on this program as well, facebook.com/TEC Divas. If we get inspired about something, we'll be on it. Until then, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.